Okay, so the idea when we're solving an equation is we're trying to find out the value of the variable. So to do that, we have to get it by itself. So when I look at this equation, I see a term here and I see a term here. And if I want the variable by itself, I need to get rid of this first. So a lot of you just see a 6, but this is actually a minus 6. So to get rid of a minus 6, we're going to do the opposite. And the opposite of subtracting 6 is adding 6. So we're going to do that to both sides. Those cancel out because negative 6 plus 6 is 0. So now I have 4y equals negative 3 plus 6 is 3. Now I'm trying to get the variable by itself. So I look at to see what operation this is. The 4 and the y, that's multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we're going to use division. So I divide both sides by 4. The 4's cancel out because that equals 1. So now I have y equals 3/4. And you can do the division and say y equals 0.75, or you can leave it as a fraction. Some of the problems in this homework assignment are going to say leave it as a fraction, and that's fine. That's what I mean by leave it as a fraction. All right? When we look at this problem, same thing. We have two terms. We have this term and we have this term. So if I'm trying to get the variable by itself, I want to get rid of this first. And again, this is a minus 9, so to get rid of that, we're going to add a positive 9 to both sides. That's going to leave x divided by 3 over here. My 9's cancel out. And negative 12 plus 9 is negative 3. So but now I'm not done yet because I still have something over here with my variable. I want to think, what operation is this? And that's division. The opposite of division is going to be multiplication. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3 and this side by 3. The 3's cancel out, so now I have x equals negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Okay? And this problem is the one that most people had the most difficulty with because the two terms, instead of being next to each other like this, the terms are actually on top of each other. So this is one term and this is one term. And if I'm trying to get the variable by itself, I need to get rid of the 7. So I'm going to look, what operation is this? It's division. The opposite of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 7. My 7's are going to cancel out. So now I have 4 minus y equals, I can't do 14 times 7 in my head. 14 times 7 is 98. But my variable's still not by itself. I have to get rid of this 4. How do I get rid of a 4? I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So those cancel out, but now be careful. What are you left with on this side? It's actually a negative y. So negative y equals 94. I don't want negative y, I want positive y. So the opposite of y is 94. So the negative y, so the positive y is going to be negative 94. Because I need the opposite of that. All right, last one. Here I see parentheses, so I should be thinking distributive property. Before I can start solving, I first need to simplify this. So I'm going to do 4 times 6, which is negative 24x. And I'm going to do negative 4 times negative 1, which is positive 4. Now that I've actually combined or simplified it, I can now go ahead and solve the equation. Okay, I'm trying to get this term by itself. So to get rid of the 4, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. That leaves me a negative 24x. Negative 4 minus 4, be careful, don't make that mistake. Negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. To get the variable by itself, I want to look, what operation is this? I'm boring myself. Wow. Okay, negative 24 and the x is multiplication. So to undo that, we're going to divide by negative 24. And what we do to one side, we do to the other, which leaves me with x. And again, I can do the division here and get a decimal, or I can just leave it as a fraction, which is going to end up being positive because negative divided by negative is positive. So there we go. Solving equations. Good luck.